Yo, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are back live for the Straightjacket podcast. Broadcast 330 Monday. You know the score. And yeah, we haven't lost this weekend, guys. That's a small little plus. Normally we're talking about a loss. It was a draw, but still can't be celebrating draws and all of that. But yeah. How's everyone doing, Minna? How are you doing, Bro, Lakers, United, it's all going bad for you, Minna.
Yeah, well, it's looking a bit peak. But is that how bad our standards are that you're saying, oh, at least we didn't lose?
Yeah, it is bad.
I got a question to ask you, though. When did you get hench?
Listen, man, I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
Now is ridiculous.
Listen, shout out to Connor for the thumbnail. You know them ones there. But yeah, man, I thought we have to get locked in and believe, you know? But yeah, big up Minna. Hope you're well, Minna. Big up to you. Big up to Musa. You know what I mean? I've never seen someone so active in the group chat as Musa and Traps, man. You know what I mean? Like,
you got too much chat.
Have been on to me and Faz and Tyrone.
You got too much chat.
What you saying, Musa, man? How you doing?
I'm here. I'm chilling. I got Monquay's looking for you.
Monquay?
That's what I'm saying. Monquay's looking for you. We're going to have to do a skit. We're going to have to do a skit. I told him he needs to do a skit on you still because you're getting out of control now.
Bro, it's peak, man. It's peak, man. Nuruddin, man, you're enjoying the weather, man. It's like it's baking hot outside, you know what I mean? Man's got the tan already.
My natural color, man. Look how shining I am. Look at my natural color, man. No messing about. Look at that. Have a look.
Melanin is popping.
We're having it.
Come on. Love that, man. Big up to everyone who's enjoying themselves out there, man. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't got United, at least you got the sunshine, man. That's the main thing. There was a super chat that came in and says, if City win the FA Cup and finish top 5 and Newcastle finish Europa, or better than mean 1 to 9 points, get Europe and a possible 10th. Man United or Spurs with the Europa League. Yeah. There's a lot of possibilities, Eric, but I can't lie. I'm not really looking at anyone else, man. We got to focus on ourselves, man. A huge week for us.
Please get that super chat back up. I beg you. What's going on here?
Yeah, it's all the possibilities that could happen, basically.
If my nan could get on a bike with 4 wheels. You know, if I could get the Dope Boy Trotter, Dave kind of mobile. If that. Look at the mental gymnastics here. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look what's going on here.
Yeah. Listen, man. Yeah, man.
And you know what? And that's why I blame the fan base. Big up Eric, though.
Yeah, big up Eric, man. Big up to Eric, man. I mean, is there even point talking about yesterday? Like, we're just bad in it. Like, it's just like, was it anything that we didn't know yesterday? Did you see anything that you didn't know? Because Nurdi, you were mad at me on the phone. I was like, yo, Nurdi, are you all right, bro? Like, what are you? Like, I get what I'm watching. Like,
what I'm watching.
I've not seen. I was actually laughing last night out of embarrassment. Like I got my prediction 1-1. I was like,
to be fair, I predicted a draw as well. But it was because Saeed, it's not even Amorim. It was under Ten Hag as well.
Yeah.
How many goals do we give opposition?
Yeah, a lot.
Basic things. Like Luke Shaw giving hot potatoes to a young player who then eats grass. Next minute, the 3 people are queuing up to shoot. It's like, to me, what is that? 21 times in the Premier League, we wait. In every first half, we wait until the other team score. We wait till they score. And then we hoof and puff FC comes out. And then, but the hoof and puff, but no end product. So that's what the frustration was. And for me, I'm not with you guys. And I've never been, and I've never said it out of my mouth. But this derangement, this brainwashing, this almost psychological warfare thing that's coming from the club, from Amorim's mouth, and all the fans are just repeating it. Yeah, the season's done. Yeah, the season's done. Yeah, Europa League, our boss. Yeah. Like, when we're fucking 15th, 14th, are you taking the piss?
Well, what you think United should be doing better?
We're like a tap. We could be turning on. No, if you go into a semi-final of a cup, you need a bit of form to take that with you. You need all the positive energy that you need to take it with you. And you want to avenge a team that battered you 2 seasons in a row, 3-0, 3-0. Like, what are we on here? They were firing mid-season. And then they got tired, they got fatigued, they got a small squad. They've had injuries. And there we are, giving them gifts. Like, I swear, Issa just left. We're like, there you go, yo. There you go. Yeah. From Unana Luke Shaw to Dogu, who's just a kid that's not even unpacked his bags yet. But then the fan base are all going on at him, but never want to say anything about Luke Shaw and Unana decision-making in that moment when they were pressing us heavily. We got away with it just before. And all of a sudden, we get caught cold. So for me, I'm frustrated about what I see with my eyes. And I'm not going to just put it down to, well, that's the way it is. I'm not, because I'm not a sheep, and I'm not getting hooked in to this herd mentality. Well, it's Europa League, or that's where it is. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. There are still games to be played, and the biggest thing is this. The reason why I'm like, well, what's going to change in 3 months' time? Tell me what is going to change incredibly. What's going to change? People are the fan base are making out like this is just, next season is a year away.
Yeah, no,
it's 3 months away. It's 3 months away. But what is fundamentally good is the error. Somehow, miraculously, we're going to cut out all those errors. We're going to iron out of it. The football is going to be popping. Nah, mate.
You know what is, Nuruddin? I think, obviously, there's not a lot to shout about this season, is it? And obviously, people want to cling on to hope. And that hope is we win the Europa League, you get into Champions League football, you're in a better position than you are if you don't win the Europa League. And it becomes a catastrophically bad season. So I think that's where, the hope is coming from. It's not a case of you forget about the Premier League season. Like, you don't really. But it's something like you've salvaged the Europa League through a bad season. I think that's where Nuruddin, people, that's where the hope is coming from. You win that Europa League, it's not regarded as a successful season, but you've salvaged a trophy and you're into the Champions League, better financially, better whatever, better this, you attract more players, etc., etc. That in that aspect, that's where I feel like people,
Saeed,
what?
You play football, you can't turn on and off. You can't turn
we are unbeaten, Nuruddin. We are unbeaten in the Europa League. I mean, I know it's going to sound mad, but we are unbeaten in the Europa League, Nuruddin. For some reason, the formula's working in the Europa League. I do believe, though, there's a context behind the Lyon game where I think, for me, we got we got lucky, to be honest with you. That red card doesn't happen. I don't think we win that game. You know, we kind of like, we rode our luck a little bit, the fans, etc., etc. Like, it could have went another way, but we got over it. The Old Trafford crowd, to be fair, we should have really battered them in the first half. You know, it is what it is. But I ain't gonna lie to you.
We conceded 4 goals. We conceded 4 goals in 25 minutes. So don't tell me any of this. And in a cup competition, something can happen. Boom, game's gone. See you later. Luckily,
but somehow we found a formula.
No, we recovered, but you can't do that twice. What we did in that is once in a blue moon.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, it could happen again.
Can I just say on Europa, I don't think it's sad. Outside of financial situation, that's the only reason why people want to win Europa, because of the money aspect of being in Champions League. That's it.
I think you want to be in the Champions League as well.
No, but every time I ask people, why do you want United to win Europa? We need to be in Champions League. Why do you want to be in Champions League? We need the money so we can buy people.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. It's not, we need to be in Champions League because that's where the best teams are, and you know we need to compete with the best, or you know it's because we need the money. That's the answer every single time.
Yeah, we're not going to win it. We're just going to be there to participate. You know what I mean? And listen, it is what it is. But I'd rather be in it than not be in it. I'll be real with you guys. I know you lot disagree with me all the time, but I'd rather be in it than not be in it. But my thing is, it's like financially, yes, but also to save the season, Miller. Like this season has been a terrible season. I think also the manager needs this Europa League. The manager might not survive, guys, if you don't win this.
I think if we lose to Athletic, he walks.
He walks.
He walks.
Wow.
Because I genuinely, if you watch him in press conferences, I actually think the stress of the job is not to the level of what he anticipated. Yeah,
I agree.
Because let's be honest, when he came in November, right? We were not that far off from top 4. It was still a bit like up and down.
You're right.
What was everybody's who sat here and said the season is a write-off from now? No one said that. I said that it was not going to be great, but I didn't say it's a write-off. It got to January and it looked like United might have been turning a corner, you know, coming off the back of beating City in December and then, you know, Anfield and then knocking Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium. People were like, oh, okay, maybe United are starting to turn a corner. But it's been downhill. Bro, United have only won 4 games in 2025. That's the same number of months that we've gone through so far. We might finish May and be on the 5th month and still have 4 wins in 2025. That's spooky. That is spooky. But I also don't think... I look at Amorim's appointment as 2 things. I don't think he anticipated that it's this bad at United, that the players in terms of... You know, I feel like it's not that the players are crap. I just think that they automatically revert back to what they're comfortable with and what they know, rather than taking the initiative of, you know, playing the way that Amorim maybe wants them to play. It's not that they don't have the facilities. I think it's more so that, you know, they revert back to what they're comfortable with and what they're more familiar with. But I also think that Amorim coming mid-season might have been a good thing for him because he doesn't have to waste a pre-season and the first couple months of next season trying to figure out whether or not these players work. He's had 7-8 months of doing that, and getting a 2.5-year contract might actually show that Amorim maybe is not the manager that they expect to steady the to win them the Premier League, but is more so the manager to steady the ship for the next manager to come in. I still think that, you know, people should people have their reservations about Amorim, and I don't blame them, right? But equally with saying that, the same players that have been ripped apart for the last 2 or so years, talking about how crap they are, you're now shocked that the manager can't change them. But we've been sitting here for ages saying, you know, these players suck. These players are crap. They're this, they're that. You know, they've got weak mentality. And then in the same breath, you're saying, but Amorim, you know, he's not coaching them. He's not getting a tune out of them. Both things could be true.
Yeah, I agree. There was a super chat here as well. Big up to Jay Daviel, says Isco and Anthony Insta 3 days ago will kidnap you. This is your first warning. Also, Isco before Anthony joined 8 games, 3 GA. Since Anthony joined, Isco's got 15 GA in 17, not qualified. They're big up all.
Not qualified.
Yeah, that's your burner.
Not qualified. Not qualified.
Also,
when I told you he's reviving his career, he started making noise, started singing flipping nursery school rhymes. I told you, bro.
Nah, I can't lie, man. Thanks for the donation, man. I appreciate it, man. Killer says, big up all. United didn't lose and the sun is still shining. Europa League on boss. Remember to stay hydrated, people. Big up Killis, man. Always, man. But most of them, what are you saying? I don't know, man. Like it's one of them where are you stuck in limbo and you kind of like, yo.
I'm not stuck, Saeed. I know the reality. For years, I got behind managers and blamed the players. In the last 2 seasons, in the last 2 windows, Manchester United has cleared out so many players that we blame for the downfall of this club. And every single player's gone. And guess what?
Not all of them, but
most of them, though. Most of them. A load of players that you didn't like have gone out the club. And guess where we are? We're still 15th in the league. We're still fighting for our lives. With all of these players gone, we blame Anthony, we blame Rashford, we blame Martial, we blame Pogba, we blame this one, we blame that one. You went and brought in a whole heap of new players, and guess what? The fan base is still blaming again. And that's why we're talking about McTominay. I was one of McTominay's biggest critics, and I've had to eat humble pie because Manchester United is not the standard. We're not the standard to say if a player can do well in the Premier League or not. We're not the standard. We're not that team. What gets me mad is that Man United fans keep on trying to make themselves some type of standard that if a player doesn't do well here in this confusion, he's not a good player. Well, he didn't do it at United. So what, brother? Some of the best.
Why do you blame United though for that? Why do you blame United for that though?
Because we're the common denominator. A player does well away somewhere else. If you're doing well at another job.
No, carry on. I'll let you land it.
Now I'm saying if you're doing well at a job, for an example, and then you go to another place and then you don't do well there, and everyone that goes to that same company has a bad time there, you're not going to be like, oh, it's us. It's obviously it's the company, because every time people go other places, they do well. And I was one of the first people that was jumping on McTominay, and I've realized last season the kid comes and scores about 7-8 goals at United in the league. He saves us in so many situations and saves Eric Ten Hag, and I'm still blaming him as if it's his position. I've looked at it and I said, you know what? This kid grew up in the flipping academy and he was misprofiled all the way into the first team. How are you going to misprofile a kid that's come out to the academy who was always attacking and always playing further up and scoring goals? And then you bring him to the first team and think you're going to make him some Pirlo, sitting in the 6 and spreading balls left, right, and centre. And when he can't do it, you start complaining. But it wasn't a coincidence. Every time flipping McTominay played forward, he got goals. He got onto the end of goals. And that was the reality. Now he's putting on this title charge in Serie A with Napoli, and we're still saying, oh, well, he's not that good. No, Man United we're not the standard, Saeed. We're not. Too many good players I've seen come to this team and this club and just fail and then go elsewhere and still put in a shift and still play at a good level to let me know that there's something wrong. And I'm not qualified to tell you who should come in, who's not. But one thing I would say is that standards are not set by managers. They're set by the owners of the club. Let's stop trying to make Amorim set the standards. The standard needs to be set by Man United. If Amorim gets knocked out of the semi-finals of this competition, he should just be sacked and keep it moving. They're the standards. Sack the manager, keep it moving. That's it.
Okay. For me, yeah. So I'm gonna point out 2 things, right? I'm gonna give you stats because right now I'm seeing the group chat. There's bare stats here. McTominay, 2018-19, 2 goals. 2019, 24 goals. 2021, 4 goals. 2021-22, 1 goal. 22-23, 1 goal. 23-24, his best season, 7 goals. Obviously, he didn't really score. Obviously, left at United. Okay, if you don't want to do that, let's do eye test. McTominay, what's his best position? Do you think? Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. What's his best position?
McTominay should be playing as a 10 or a second striker.
A 10 ahead of who?
Ahead of whoever.
No, we can't say. Hold on a minute. He's not getting ahead of Bruno Fernandes. That's on the match. Hold on. Is he getting ahead of Bruno Fernandes?
No, forget.
Is he getting? Hold on. Answer the question. Is he getting ahead of Bruno Fernandes? He said 10. Bruno Fernandes is showing.
Let me ask you a question. If Conte has Bruno Fernandes, does McTominay get in front of him in the system he's playing now?
Sorry?
If Conte has Bruno at Napoli, the position that McTominay's playing now, does he get in front of Bruno in that position?
No, Bruno's keeping that position.
Bruno don't play that position the way Conte wants it to be played.
I don't rate Bruno Fernandes here, but Bruno Fernandes is getting that position over McTominay.
Is misprofile in your team. This is what I'm trying to say.
He suits Conte's system. He won't suit United because United play with 10s.
No, I'm all right with that. But my thing is this. my thing is this: don't misprofile your players. This is what Amorim's doing. Don't misprofile your players, and then when they don't perform, the whole flipping club's blaming the players. Because when you profile them in the right position,
I've watched this player.
I'm not saying McTominay. Listen to this: McTominay. All these seasons you just quoted when he's scoring 4 3s and 2s, he's sitting in a 6. You want him to? How many goals did Pirlo score from that position?
Don't matter. Listen to me.
What do you mean it doesn't matter? How many goals?
You know what it is, bro? I want my best position. I want my best players playing in their best positions, right? Bruno Fernandes is a better player. He's a better 10 than McTominay will ever be. So I'm not going to look at what if. Hold on a minute. I'm not going to look at what if McTominay could have played in the 10 and we misprofiled him. He ain't good enough.
My thing is that.
He's not good enough.
Let me land. Conte's sitting there and Conte's sitting there, Saeed, and he's asking the question: how am I going to snatch this Serie A title?
How are you? All right.
I'm good. How are you?
How am I going to snatch this title away from the rest of these teams? And when he's sitting there asking himself this, he's looked at McTominay and he said, "I need to bring this."
Yeah, but that's why I've asked you the question: why is it Man United's fault? You're coming in here and you're talking about McTominay. We misprofiled him. We've given him ample opportunities to play. We've given him ample game time to play. We played him where Bruno has been sometimes, and it's not been good. What are we doing here? This idea that McTominay has almost like we misprofiled him, and we're looking back thinking, you know what? Could we have got better out of him? This, that, the other. It's worked out Napoli, and that's okay. 2 things can be right. We sold him, and it was right we sold him, and Napoli have got the better out of him, and that's okay. Why is it Man United can't understand that 2 things can be right, but everyone else can say that? But only at Man United, it's like, oh, you know what, man, it's United's fault. I get it. We are a toxic club. But ultimately, we will all say that McTominay's garbage and he needs to go. What I've seen on social media now is utterly brain dead. The amount of people that said McTominay, oh, it's not good enough. We need to upgrade. We need to do this. We need to do that. But now all of a sudden, should we have really sold McTominay? Get out of here, man. Seriously, you're part of the problem. You talk about Glazers being part of the problem. The fan base as well is a big part of the problem because we do a lot of revisionism, a lot of what ifs. What if this happened? What if he played that position? Bro, he just wasn't good enough. He's done well at Napoli. Keep it as that. Like, you're actually giving more heat on McTominay than you need to. Like, give the guy praise and say, you know what? He's actually done well. He's adapted well. He's gone to a different league. And mashallah, bro. That's it. Simple.
I'll just say this. What do I always tell you? We need a savior.
Oh, we need a scapegoat, yeah. Yeah.
So the savior complex of McTominay now and Anthony or Rashford or whoever. Listen, I'm happy. I was telling people years ago, Manchester United is a rotten football club where people can't strive, where people are played out of position, where people are overplayed. The young players that are played to death. So, to be all honest with you, Musa, the club's not qualified. The owners are not qualified. The coaches that we've been getting are maybe not qualified. The players that we might have not qualified. Players can leave Manchester United. Manchester United is not the pinnacle of football. I agree with you about that. Musa.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Yeah, players can go and do some different things and different teams because football is not individual sport. Football is a team game. And you need a lot more goes into it, into building a team and an identity. And what Conte is doing now at Napoli is brilliant. The challenge, what they're doing for the league is brilliant. For me, that league, I always talked about it. It's like over 50s walking league. You can. I'm not saying that to insult that league. I'm just saying it's very slow, and it's more tactical. It's more setting traps. It's more different ways and totally different to the Premier League. So for me, I'm happy for McTominay. This revisionism. It's just that. So you know what I put it down to? I just think fans are hurting.
Yeah.
It's not that. Fans,
but when fans are hurting, let me finish. When fans are hurting, they always have to have something to like he's going to save us. He's not.
He's not going to save us.
Manchester United misprofiled him because they didn't deem he was good enough to play in that number 10.
Then sell him. That's the failings of the club. This is why I said that when I'm talking about McTominay, it's not to bring him back. It's just to point out there are failings in the club. If you have someone who's a number 10, every time McTominay played further up the field, he got goals. We all knew that the kid has to play further up the pitch and he should stay away from the flipping centre of the middle of the park. We all know that. No problem, Saeed. Then sell him. Don't because if you look at the amount of games McTominay played in the 6 and in the 8, he shouldn't have been playing that. The amount of games we had in playing in the 6 was wasting time. This is, again, the failing of the club. So all I'm saying is, I'm not saying McTominay should have been our number 10. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, Conte has proven, as he did in the Premier League, that you can win Premier League just the way Alex Ferguson did, with players like John O'Shea and that. Not everyone has to be a superstar. But when we had McTominay, people were like, we can never win anything with the likes of McTominay. That's not true. You can win big trophies with the likes of McTominay if you profile them right and you use them correctly. But like you're saying, we need a saviour to play in every position and do every job. He can't do that. All I'm seeing is failings of the club. If you've got a player like, example, Kobe Mainoo, and everyone says he needs to play further up the pitch, as soon as Amorim does that, the kid gets a man of the match performance, 1 assist and 1 goal. Every time he plays further up the pitch, we see a better Kobe Mainoo. The minute you decide you don't want to do that, don't waste his time trying to put him flipping back further down the pitch. Sell the kid, let him go on and do what he's meant to do. This is the failings of the club, but we don't want to admit it. We want to sit here like everything's nice. It's not nice, Saeed. The club's failed.
I've told so many players, but somebody could have left ages ago. You know what I mean? But people wanted to be like, you know what? But he gets GA. So that's why I was like, it don't work like that.
Saeed, listen, let's not hash the old school arguments about this play. Let's talk about the Europa League. How confident are you, Mina, about Thursday? What do you give our chances? What do you give our chances? Do you watch the league, Mina?
Yeah. I watch. It's probably the second league I watch the most. The thing is with United, the only good performance they've had in Europa this season, 90 minutes, is second leg against Real Sociedad. Even in the league phase, there was no 90 minutes of consistently good, dominant performances. So I'll give them a 50% chance of winning because, you know, there's statistically this season, there's nothing that's shown that United can have the edge regularly over teams in Europa League. I'm more concerned with the fact that the second leg is at home. And obviously we saw last time against Lyon that the home advantage just about came up lucky. So does that put more emphasis and more pressure on United getting a result away on Thursday? Because let's be real. Nico Williams is back from injury. He's back. He played 30 minutes on the weekend. You got his brother on the other side that's having a great season for them. I'm worried about Manchester United's wing backs. I think they're going to have a lot to do defensively. And if they have a lot to do defensively, then that means going forward, United are going to be low on numbers. That is what my main worry is. But I will give them I think the game can go either way. But I ain't seen enough from United this season to be convinced across the Europa League. And I actually think the fact that United are so bad in the league adds to that because there's no consistency. Like, we're going to finish the season not winning 2 Premier League games in a row.
It's dark. It's dark. I can't lie.
It's interesting. When I look at, in terms of stats from Atletico Bilbao, I see that they don't really concede a lot. Yeah. But they also don't score a lot. No, but from what makes them, differentiates them from the Spanish thing, like Real Sociedad, the tiki-taka kind of possession base, is that they're not asked about having the ball as much. But one thing they're direct with the wingers. They attack you through the wingers. Yeah. And it's almost kind of like, for me, when I look at them and the most Spanish teams, they're the closest to a Premier League kind of team using the wing play. And I think if we come up against that quite solid, can set, you know what I mean, defensively tight, I think we could be in trouble because where we're going to create. And I said it on Straightjacket podcast months ago, Mina. And I got shut down, actually, when I tried to explain to people how Manchester United play 5 at the back. We don't play 3 at the back. We play 5 at the back. And people were like, but that's just the way it is. I'm like, no. I don't think people were understanding what I meant by that. It's when teams pin us back, we only have 3 up front. We hoof the ball up to them, and they're all like scattered all over up front. One's over there. The other one's somewhat deep drop. And then there is no connection because you need other players. But when you got 7 players back, right, including the keeper, right, you got 7 players back, including the keeper, and then you've got 3 players up the pitch. It's not going to happen. So for me, I think Manchester United scoring in this game is vital. Whether it's the the return leg, or this leg. And I think Manchester United have to score here to psychologically put one on Bilbao to say, listen, you've got this good defense in La Liga, but we can score. And that is vital for me, because if they score, it's good night Vienna. They're going to just counter the hell out of us.
That's the problem. If Bilbao score first, we're not. They don't lose games. If they score first, it's game set match for us. And the reality is they're going to score. It's not if they're going to score. It's either they score and it's like to equalize, which would be good for us if we're winning. But if we're not winning and they score the game, guys, forget about it. Because they're fourth in the league for a reason. No matter what you think of the Spanish league, these guys, for a period of for the games that they've played,
they don't have to win the Europa League. You know, they don't have to win the Europa League. Champions League football.
Champions League. They're
already
as good as Real Sociedad, as good as what's the name? Real Betis has been with the push that they've had in the last 10, 15 games. They still haven't caught up these guys. These guys had a good start to the start of the season, and when you look where they are, it's embarrassing for them. I always look at it from a United point of view, and I think, yeah, we're United fans, blah blah blah. We want to win this competition. But if you look at them and where they are in the league, in the Champions League position, how well they've played this season, they are favourites to win this competition. We're going against the favourites, so I don't see how we just. For me, like I said, I'm just getting ready for Amorim to get sacked, because I think it's the likelihood is that we're losing that game. Because the problem we have here is that there's too much hope on the Europa League side, and this is when you're going to lose you're going to go mad for no reason. Yeah, but
that's what we have right now. There's nothing else to build.
No, but that's being stupid now. This is you're going to the corner shop with a pound.
Yeah, hold on a minute.
You're going to the corner shop with a pound, hoping that you see uncle and auntie there. That's going to give you an extra £2 to get the meal. You're not getting the meal. You've only got £1. We're not good enough.
£2 get you nowadays in Aston, man, not in Rome.
Nothing. And this I'm saying, we're in trouble. So we all know on our day we can beat this team. That's not the issue. We're just talking about based on the level of consistency. Saeed, you know how much it hurts that we haven't won 2 games back to back all season.
Bro, someone put out yesterday, you know, they said, when do you reckon United win the next league? I said, when do United win back-to-back games? And
how is that even possible? Teams like Wolves are going on a 4-win, they're winning 4 games in a row. 6,
bro, 6.
Oh my! How's that possible? Everton's winning 4 or 5 in a row, and we can't win 2 games back to back. That's the reason we are where we are in the league. If we had just won 2 or 3 games back to back, we would be further up this league than where we are today.
I agree. I generally think for me, had this team won back-to-back games, the level of confidence that would have gave them. But you need to still win it, bro. It's not been like we've been playing Arsenal then Man City back-to-back. It's not as if we've been playing some we could. The thing is though, we've had chances in it, and ultimately our attack ain't good enough, bro. You know what I mean? Garnacho buries that chance. We're a different story. You know what I mean? Ultimately, you can't blame the manager, but I do believe there's been a lot of missed chances. City game, we should have battered them. Arsenal game, we should have beat them. The manager also has had a bit of luck. You need a little bit of luck as a manager. You do. But ultimately, we've not been good enough, and that's just the reality of the situation. As a collective, the way we play, our formation, our style, the way we press, the way we move, operate, everything, it's not been good enough. So, ultimately, I've not got excuses, but I still believe, though, with a competent front line, maybe it's a different scenario.
You see me? Why I want Amorim out? Because with hindsight, when I look at this guy, it's like when a chef comes in, you don't know much about cooking, so when he's putting his utensils there, his plate there, you think, okay, he means business.
He got the hat and everything. He got everything, the gloves,
everything. You think, he means business. Because when I look at it now, hindsight. The guy came in and started tinkering with the team. He played this one, that one, gave him 60 minutes, put that one on 30 minutes, changed it the next game, never had a set back three, never had a set midfield, kept on changing it. And everyone's like, he's gauging out the players. He's just getting ready for the league. Because at that time, we're 4 points off the top 4. Then it was we're only 5 points off the top 4. Don't worry, he's just sorting it out. We're only 6 points off the top 4. Before you knew it, you're like, hold on. What's going on here? The top 4 was just gone. It wasn't even. Then it was we're only 3 or 4 points off a Europa League place. We're only 3. Before you knew it, the guy was out of sight. And I was thinking, What was he doing in those first 5-6 games when he came in? Like, what the heck? What did he think?
He underestimated the league. He underestimated the league. He underestimated the quality of the players as well. I believe you, and he underestimated a lot. Do you know what he's saying? He lost the league or the opportunity of finishing anywhere high in the league in his first 5-6 games. That's when he lost it. He did because he didn't allow any level of reputation to go into the 11 for them to push on. He didn't allow a set team to fight for something. He kept on changing it, and that's when he lost everything. To me, anyway. Yeah. I mean, Nuruddin's got his hand patiently waiting there. Before you go, Nuruddin, Killer says different expectations and systems for players. Club philosophy is also different. United ownership hasn't and doesn't have the desire to win. Wait and see FC. Big up to Killis always, man. Smash the likes, people.
Big up Killis. Listen, at the end of the day, the idea that you're blaming Amorim, I'm dumbfounded. I don't know. I think I'm going mad. Dan Ashworth knew, the club knew in the summer, his style of play was not compatible with the squad. The squad is not qualified. Amorim is not qualified to work his system with that squad, and the squad are not qualified to work on Amorim's system. So, and the club are not qualified, Musa. I'm explaining it in your terms. This idea that you're going to blame him is laughable. It's extremely laughable. He gave an interview to Sky the other day. I think it came up before the game yesterday. I think it was Saturday. It was done Saturday. I think I caught it on Saturday night. He basically said in January we could have done something to try to help the situation, but unfortunately it was a risk that we took, meaning the club, and we did nothing. He said yes. Has he found it hard? Yes. He was quite open and honest. And I even asked him about how open and honest he is, and he's like, people are no fools, so why should I lie to people? For me, the man's done so many interviews. He's done more interviews than Manchester United have had wins or points. And that's all he keeps doing. That's all he keeps doing. So for me, when I look at it, I think the club have said to him, this is a free hit. I don't blame Amorim. I do not. You said out of your own words, you said club sets the standards. The club standards was, this is a free hit season. And they've told him, and he's come out, when he got sticky, when he lost the first 5 or 6 or whatever, 7 games, in that early run in a month and a half, 2 months, on and around Christmas, he came out and said, they sold me to start now, to start the preparations. I don't know why. We know already from inside sources that we know that the club wanted to get rid of the wages. And that's why Jim Ratcliffe was talking about it in that interview with Gary Neville, talking about the money. You know, this amount of money, wages, the players of this not being available to him, Luke Shaw not being available, Mason Mount not being available because of all of that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, the club have decided, I'm not going to blame a manager who didn't have a clue about Manchester United and the state that Manchester United are in, who realised actually himself as a young coach and thought, I better go in, I better have a pre-season before I go in and maybe make signings that I can play my system. All of that was taken away from him. The idea that he's going to walk, I don't think he will walk, Mina. I understand where that's coming from, Mina. And I understand that you saw the pressure that he's under extremely. And if we don't win, he might just think, you know what, I'm doomed. I'm not going to be able to do anything. But the idea that for me, I'm going to blame Amorim is ludicrous to me. And the idea that I think he's the one that's responsible is ludicrous. The guy who made it sure and said, listen, this is not good, guys, don't do it. I'm not the greatest fan of Dan Ashworth, but he did say that, and they sacked him for it. They went behind his back, him and Omar Barada, Jim Ratcliffe, and Jason Wilcox, and they brought him in. If you don't believe me, go and watch the Amorim, still somewhere on YouTube. Amorim's first time at Carrington. Look at Dan Ashworth's body language. He's like, what? 2 weeks later, he was sacked. 3 weeks later, at half time, when he had his family members in the director's board. He was called downstairs to go to one of the offices inside Old Trafford, and Omar Barada gave him his P45. So at the end of the day, I know the way that football fans are conditioned is to almost blame the coach. But I'm not blaming this guy, because everybody and their nan could see this squad. This squad was not compatible for the guy that built it. The guy that actually built it. The guy that built the squad. He couldn't get a tune out of them. How is more specific type of coach who's got a specific type of system? That
so, no, what you're simply saying is that he's what is he blameless? What?
No, Saeed.
Mostly,
Saeed, he can be blamed for fundamental things about in-game management, substitutions, certain things.
The results,
he's picking. For example, for example, Zerski found a bit of form after he got booed, and before the international break, Zerski was playing with Rasmus, and actually we were holding the ball up the pitch, creating more chances. The international break comes, Zerski's on the bench, and then Rasmus is played to death. So, Saeed, there are multiple things that you can blame coach and managers, but to blame the collapse of Manchester United, where we find ourselves. Let me finish. Where we find ourselves, to blame that on Amorim, and then to go, he needs to deserve to sack. It just shows me that you are just into superficiality. You're not paying attention to the deep issues of Manchester United.
You don't think Amorim has done enough to deserve to get sacked? You don't think he's done enough? You don't think forget about what you're talking about, the club, Ineos, what they've done. Him as a manager, since he's come into the club, the position that we're in, where he found us, how he's implementing the back three. Remember, it's a back five, That's my biggest...
Yeah, I said
that's on him. Yeah, but that's on him. And you still think...
But that's what they said.
No, he's one...
But that's what they wanted.
He's meant to play back three. No one's asked him to that, because when you look at Wolves and how they implement it, or you look at say Brentford when they do that, everyone plays it different. This guy has chosen to play the back five game in, game out. He's had opportunities to play wingers. He's even sent someone low like Anthony. He's had opportunities. So for me, it's just based only solely on the decisions that he's made that's allowed him to get to this position. It's not based on anything else. I've seen enough from this guy and the decisions that he's made to say that in management, losing a job, it's like a player, Saeed. Look, if a player comes to Man United, doesn't do well, Diego Forlan, for an example, has a couple good games, but he doesn't do well, and then you sell him on, it doesn't mean he can't go on and do well elsewhere. I'm not saying that Amorim can't go on and manage and do good elsewhere. I'm just saying the form that he's shown in his first months at Man United is sackable form. It's a form where you would put a player in for a transfer and say, you know what, maybe it's not going to work for him here. It'll work for him somewhere else. Managers are the same. People think that managers can't come into a club, not get the ball rolling how they want to be. Like Amorim, the problem with Amorim is this for me, and this is why I said it to guys. And I said this to you. I said, keep Rude or back Amorim in a January transfer window. Because if you don't back Amorim in a January transfer window, just like you said, Noradine, the new season's in 3 months. This snowball effect of losing, not being able to win 2 games in a row, is going to continue into the next season. Nothing's going to change if you're sitting there as Amorim thinking you got a free season. He thinks players are just going to go on holiday for 4 weeks, come back into the club and be like, yeah, all that, it's like a boxer. You can't get battered for 9 rounds in a boxing match and think you're going to go into your next match and you're just going to be like, yeah, that was the last match. I got no trauma from what just happened. These players are going to be traumatized from this season. They're not going to just go into the next season thinking they can beat everyone, Noradine. And that's the problem I have with him. He's created this environment by accepting some of these rules, by not getting back in the January transfer window, and then also admittedly himself doing much worse than he thought he would do. He didn't think it would be this bad. It's going to take so much to convince a team that finishes 16th or 17th in the league that you can actually go next season and compete. And if he does that he's done miracles, Noradine. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Especially if he's just sitting there.
I'm just saying to you, in the next season, he will hopefully have his players and maybe a pre-season. I just wanted to get minute in. I am not saying that your criticism is not legitimate. Like I've been on here and criticized Amorim. It was not even my top 3, right? Because I knew Manchester United did not even have the players didn't even have the way with it all, Mina, to play the system that Erik ten Hag. Because we finished 8th last season, Mina, and last season, Mina, we were doing daylight robberies. How many games did we snatch points where we should not in a game where we nowhere have the right to win in? We did that. So this idea for me, I don't know what you think, Mina, but to think that sacking Amorim is going to change this, I just find it laughable. I really find it laughable. What do you think, Mina?
I understand both sides of the argument. When people are criticizing Amorim, because the numbers are there, the results are on show. What is it? 6 Premier League wins.
6 wins in 25, is something like that.
Like it's on show. So you know what? I feel like with Erik ten Hag, the line was very clear in terms of the shortcomings of the manager. Whereas with Amorim, I can't criticize someone if they sit here and they say they don't want Amorim to stay because the numbers speak for itself. The results speak for itself. But on my side of the argument, this idea of the way that he plays, he's not adaptable, he's playing a back 5. I think if the game calls for a back 5, I see nothing wrong with it. If the game calls for it. But I understand the concerns of consistently having, because the problem is when United are playing a back 3 and they got the 2 wing backs in defensive transition, the wide centre backs and the wing backs are so close to each other. It's ridiculous. There's even sometimes, I don't know if you guys saw, I think it was the game against Lyon, where one of the midfielders were dropping in to make a back 6. Nobody wants to watch that. No one, unless you're a relegation team and you're coming up against a team like City or Liverpool or Arsenal, where you're basically parking the bus. Nobody wants to see Manchester United defending with a back 5 or a back 6. So I understand that argument. But on the flip side, I try to look at it and think, the players that United have and the way that Amorim wants to play, I think it was on show from maybe that the first Europa League game that he won. I think it was Bodo Glimt or something.
Bodo Glimt, yeah.
I think it was on show from there that United do not have the capacity in terms of the players to play the way that the manager wants. Now, with Ruben Amorim, I feel like when you've got a very rigid system and you require specific type of players, let's be real, whether it was Ancelotti coming in or Xavi coming in or Thomas Tuchel coming in, Man United's biggest problem has been physicality. It's been intensity. It's not going to change in 6 months because a new manager has come in. The only way that you fix that is bringing those kind of players. And it's also proving on the previous regime the fact that the players that United brought 2 windows ago could possibly be sold within 2 years. That's how bad Manchester United have been run. So that element is true. And Nuruddin was it Musa that was saying the standards are set by the club, not the manager. I 100% agree with that. 100% agree. The standard and if and that's why I said I wouldn't be mad if Amorim if he lost the Europa League and he walked, I wouldn't be shocked. If he got sacked, I wouldn't be shocked. If he stayed, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah,
I would be shocked at all 3 of these.
All outcomes. Yeah,
I would be shocked at all 3 of those outcomes because the facts are there. All the facts are there. But equally, we can agree. I think we can agree that the players naturally, in my opinion, revert back to what they know, what they're comfortable with. And playing Amorim football is being out of their comfort zone. Man United haven't had players out of their comfort zone ever. Players have come to Manchester United and got so comfortable to do what they want that the second that a new manager comes in and requires something different, they are too comfortable. They're too comfortable and they don't want to do that. So instead of trying, to take on a player, a wing back trying to take on a player or something, they'll just revert back and go back and pass to their centre back or pass to Onana. It's inevitable. So we'll see how the rest of the season pans out. I don't expect to win a Premier League game, guys.
I'll just say quickly. I think a lot of things that you said is true, but the thing about it is that I just want to explain to people. We had Ten Hag who demanded so much of players, who played man for man all over the pitch, who wanted players who can run, but then it was part of the recruitment and whether it's the club or who he signed a lot of the players, they couldn't do it. Then we get even more specific kind of coach. Yeah. So we double down and triple down on even more specific coach who needs specific type of players to be doing a specific type of roles within the team. And then we're shocked at where we are. For me, it's the club. I do not play.
I believe that. I believe you're right, Nordin. I think.
So let me just say this. I think that's no player ever puts themselves on the football pitch. No player gives themselves the wages. No player gives themselves the contract. No coach hires himself. No coach gets out there and employs himself at a football club. The people, you have to look beyond. It's the people. How many managers we've sacked in the last 11 to 12 years? 6 permanent managers and 4. I think it might be 4
interims.
Interims. That's 10, right? So at the end of the day, because I know that you don't have the energy, you don't have the fight, and it's all that's beating out of you, majority of the fan base. So all you can go is Amorim out, Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out, Ole in, Ole out. That's why Saeed's not doing it, because Saeed knows it's not just the coach. Because I refuse to believe all the coaches that have coached Manchester United in the last 12 years, they're all horrendous.
We've been saying this for like 3 years. The last 3 years, every transfer window, we say the same stuff about the players. Like I've been hearing, like from flipping Ranić came in and said that we need an open heart surgery. From then, every window, I've heard the players. We don't even have the same set of players, and it's still the players. My thing is, how do we stop this from repeating itself? How do we stop Amorim getting sacked December next year? In December at the end of this year.
I have a recruitment.
Okay, cool. So what we're saying with the new recruitment, with the next set of 11 players that come through the door, regardless of who comes through the door, you lot would always be on the manager then. You'll stop being on the players.
No.
Do you believe that? The question I'm asking, do you believe we have the right people in charge to recruit the right type of players so that after Amorim comes in, if not, then we're going to be here all the time?
That's what we're saying. And that's what we're saying. So for me, the biggest thing is what Ranić was saying in that, and he went over a lot of people's heads. He was saying players who can play the modern way football. So what are the 2 fundamental things? And Saeed and Minna, and you can stop me if I'm chatting rubbish. The 2 things are physicality and technical ability. Can you hold the ball? Can you hold the ball any given place? Are you press resistant? Most importantly, can you got the legs and the physicality to be able to play whatever system and actually play? And sometimes
let me give an example, Noridi.
One second, Musa. Play 3 different systems in one game. Because the players who've got technical ability and physicality can do that. And Liverpool just won the league. And they showed us that. Liverpool have shown us that. Sometimes they play the long ball.
But we're not even trying to win the league, though, Nordi.
Sometimes they play tiki-taka. Sometimes they play control.
But my thing is this, though. We're not even trying to win the league. We're trying to get into the top 4. If I look at the top 5 teams, I can name an 11 from Man United now that will match these top 5 teams in the abilities that you've just mentioned. Not in the structure to go out and win, but I can name you a back 3. I can name you a midfield 2. I can name you wing backs that we've got. I can name you the 2 10s. I can name you players who are technically sound, have the ability, have the strength, have the athleticism to compete with the top 5. Forget winning it, but the top 5. When I look at Villa and what Villa's done, what's Villa's midfield? Who's in there?
Bloody hell! Are you kidding me?
Who's in the name them, Saeed?
Tielemans.
Tillemans, okay, Tillemans, okay. Tillemans and Mainu. What's going on there?
I'm taking Tillemans.
No, but you're taking Tillemans. This is why I keep on saying you're taking Tillemans because Tillemans is not with Amorim. If Amorim had Tillemans, you're not taking him. Because when Tillemans was at Leicester, you said he was too slow for you. When he was at Leicester, I said I was too slow, and he's not athletic, and his mobility. You was worried
about his ability. I said in the midfield.
Okay, cool. His ability. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. You're telling me Tillemans' ability is far superior to Kobe Mainu.
I didn't say it's far superior. I said right now the ability of Tillemans is better than Kobe Mainu.
There's nothing wrong with
that. I'm not saying there is, but I'm saying, let me give an example. What I'm saying is, if Kobe's at Aston Villa and they take off Tillemans and bring on Kobe, they don't feel the impact. Kobe's not that big of a drop-off where Aston Villa start to struggle now because Kobe's came on the pitch. Kobe in an Aston Villa team playing under a man, because one thing is this, the one Noradine said, it's a team sport. It's what else is happening around you. It's not just one person. So this is why I say we have an 11 that if you take them one by one into another team where there's 10 other players that are trained to play a certain type of way, these players have the ability of everything that you're saying. So what is the problem? What's wrong with flipping Euro? What's wrong with De Ligt? What's wrong with Mazraoui? What's wrong with Martinez? What's wrong with Ugarte? What's wrong with Ericsson? All of these players were bopping, like Brentford. He's bopping he's just knocking the ball left, right, and centre. He comes to Man United, and we're just again, he's done now. He's done now. Mark my words. Let this guy, even at this age, make Ericsson go back to Brentford. Let's see if he doesn't bop the flipping pitch around again next season. If Man United think that we're the standard, we're not. And this is what I'm saying. We got Zertsky that everyone was like, they're not too sure about. This is a top-level footballer. Say what you want about Bruno Fernandes, another top-level footballer. We got Ahmad. We've got players. I'm not saying that we've got an unlimited amount of players, but we have at least 10 or 11 players that if they're playing well enough, they should be. Saeed, when I look at the points on the board for the top 5, top 6, these are not crazy points that we shouldn't. It's just because how in the world can we not get 2 back-to-back wins? That's the problem.
Yeah,
we're sitting there telling me. You're sitting there telling me.
That don't show you the quality of a squad, though. If you get back-to-back wins,
it doesn't. But what I'm saying is this squad has more. I'm not saying to win the league. I'm arguing that we should be in a Europa League position. I'm sitting here being told that Manchester United squad is not good enough to be in a Europa League position. I'm not accepting it. The manager has crashed for whatever reason. And I told people the best drivers in the world crash. Amorim's come in and he's crashed. He doesn't even believe he should be where he is. So how are we going to defend it? Amorim doesn't believe he should be in this position. So how are we as a fan base going to defend him for being in this position, side? He should be at least 7th in the league. Yep. We should be in a European position. We should be. So I'm not going to defend any Manchester United manager who doesn't fall into a European position. Because no matter how bad we think the team is, the team and the squad that we've assembled over the years is good enough to do it.
You know what is for me, guys, yeah? Like, we can look at our players individually and be like, you know what, they might be better and whatnot. But I still believe the gap in quality is still far superior on their behalf. For me, their attack is better than ours. Like, a lot of these guys attacked Newcastle. They're better than ours. What do you call it? Aston Villa, better than ours. Like, we're not scoring enough goals. We're not getting enough out of these players. Look at Højlund, not good enough in front of goal. We've seen it. Garnacho, not good enough in goal. Yeah, Ahmad now is showing it. He can play. He hasn't got his opportunity. I just don't rate the squad as maybe as highly as other people rate it. That's just my opinion anyway. And I look at these players here. These guys are ready now. Like, even Mainu now, we're still Amorim doesn't really still know where his best position is. Like, when I looked at the game against Bournemouth yesterday, Amorim played him 10, then he played him 6. He kind of drifted in and out. I don't really get where he was going with it, but I just think for me, the gap in this team, yeah, the way you kind of will say, you know what, that player there could do better, it's still not great, man. It isn't, Musa. I'll be honest with you. We can say we can stretch out a little bit and get more out of these players, etc., etc. But ultimately, there is still a lot of cracks in this team, bro.
No, but you just mentioned Kobe. Yeah, you mentioned Kobe for an example. We've all seen what the capabilities of Kobe and what he can do. So when you talk about you don't know what Amorim's trying to do, is Kobe the problem or is it Amorim? Are you doubting Kobe's
right now?
ability?
You definitely tell us it's an Amorim problem with Kobe.
That's what I'm saying. Are you doubting? My thing is, I just want to know: is Zertsky a footballer, a top-level footballer? Yes or no? If he's not, then I'm going to be like, you know what? I get it. The manager can't do nothing with him. But if you're turning around saying Zertsky's a top-level player, Ugarte's a top-level player, then you're telling me Kobe's a top-level player. You're telling me Bruno, Mazraoui, De Ligt, all of these players, you're telling me they're top-level players. Then when we line them up, they just can't do well enough to finish 8th or 7th. They're not good enough. All these top-level players are only good enough to finish 15th. I'm not accepting
No, I'm saying 15th, but I don't think they're the level of 7th or 6th or...
No, Saeed, it's not that big. Have you seen who's there? Have you seen the points?
Yeah, I've seen who's
there.
Do
you think this squad can't get 60 points on the table? 60!
We've seen it, though. We can't even get two games back-to-back. We haven't built a team.
But this is new. All of this is new.
Listen, I look at the Premier League, right? The manager could get more wins, but ultimately you still need a bit of quality
Based on how many...
we get physically bullied every team we play.
Yeah, exactly.
All the teams in top 10 have...
Jacob Murphy, would you have him in this United team? Yes or no?
Yeah. And a Newcastle player, because they're physical.
For Newcastle.
They've all been conditioned to be physical. Newcastle.
I'm not having anyone here because Man United is a problem. Do you know why? I'm not saying he's crap. We'll make him look crap. But at the end of the season, Saeed will be rinsing this kid. This is why I'm not wasting my time with players.
But what I'm trying to say to you is that you've got a team, yeah, and you've got like a system. I agree with you. Like, you can make these players look a lot better, but these guys at least have the basics, bro. We don't even have the players that can do basics.
No, but when we want to, it's easy to compare. When we were playing, when Barcelona was at the top of the game, where was this physical monster at Barca? It's easy to compare teams and say, oh, this team, we need this. We've been bopped off the pitch by small men that are just tactically better than us. We've had it with City. We've had it with lots of teams where we're running around like headless chickens, can't get the ball. It's whatever the manager puts forward. It's not just, you need to be...
this on the Ten Hag in a 4-2-3-1.
No, I get it, Saeed. This is what I'm saying, that there's a lot of problems, but it's not just, you need a strong, fast player. I looked at City for years and they didn't have no one that was rapid in the team. You just had Sterling. That was it. They had that Silva was slow, this geezer was slow. Everyone was just standard pace, 1 matter pace. But they moved the ball so quick, it had you running around in circles. Then we get, everyone can't play like City. Bro, we just got to choose what's going on. Can the manager get players to play a certain type of way where we can be effective? If we can't be like City, let's be like Brentford then. And then when we do the Brentford thing, it's not United football. It's not, what are we doing? This is why I'm saying, not just you, I'm not qualified. Because I've screamed,
we're not qualified.
Do that, and I'm not qualified. Everything that I've asked to be done has been done, and we're still in the same position. So now I'm saying, how about the people that's getting paid big money go and flipping deliver for what they're getting paid for? I'm just here to watch now, Saeed. I'll be honest.
There's a couple of super chats before you come in, Nordin. Big up to Craig, says, I just got a feeling Amorim isn't going to get players he needs. I think he needs 6 starters minimum. Amorim out, moves out. Big up Minot, always. If any team in the bottom half employed Højlund and Garnacho, they'd get relegated. Say you do not want Tillemans when he was on a free agent. You did a stream on the links, then no revisions. No. I'm saying, I'm saying I didn't want it. I had
just talk about what he said, how he was playing then. Player then goes improves. That doesn't mean that the player can't improve.
100%.
I agree with Saeed, but what we're saying, Saeed, this is what I'm saying to you. I believe Kobe, a few of our players under these managers at Newcastle, they look different. Ugarte comes in and steps into Newcastle at the start of the season. He looks like a different player. We're not getting this type of, because everyone now, including me, is dissing Ugarte. I've been dissing him. And Saeed said we should get him in. But I'm not going to sit here, guys, and go on like the guy's crap. He's not crap. Something's just wrong with us. Ugarte's not crap.
Yeah. Big up Larry says, big up Rants for the raid as well. Big up to Rants in the building. Mo says, right, most of our players would leave to other Premier League clubs and do well. They are not good enough as a collective to win the league, but 7th and 9th, not where we are. Listen, like now, for example, Musa, yeah, we go and get in 5 players of your choice, yeah. Where do you expect Man United to be next season?
Where I expected us to be this season was Europa League position. Like, for me, where Man United is now, like, one thing Nourdine always said before last season was we need to just start to play good football, something that we can get behind as a team, a manager that can come and put something together. See me, I've accepted being a Europa League club for about 2 seasons, but playing good football. I've accepted that side. I've accepted Man United playing very good football, turning up, beating teams, having a style of play, bringing in young players, having experienced players, going into the Europa League and maybe winning it or being in there or thereabouts, and saying to ourselves, you know what, we're building towards something. I've seen Barca in the Europa League go and build off something and get back into the Champions League. The problem is we're not even Europa League levels. How has that happened?
Yep, I agree. I still think the standards come from the top as well. Poor recruitment, you know what I mean? Poor emphasis.
Saeed, listen.
Yeah.
Let me say something to you. Let me give you a quick example, yeah? The Greek guy who owns Nottingham Forest, yeah? By the way, they're having a phenomenal season. And if you look at if you really break down into the stats about them, they're doing phenomenal, Saeed. Every chance they get, in a game, they make 3 chances, they score 3 goals. They make 2 chances, they score 2 goals, right? Everything they're doing is like way above what their expectation is or what the stats say they should be doing. But you know what he said? He said he came into Nottingham Forest. Go and read the statement. I swear to God, find the statement, what he said when he came to Nottingham Forest. He said, forget us staying there. I'm not just here to stay there. I want to fight for European places.
Yeah.
Facts.
Saeed, break whatever the effing rule that he broke. Where is he now? He's had the most turnaround of squad members. They're not good enough. He buys players. They're not good enough. Right. Let's do another. Whatever he needs to do to get the club competing. And I'm afraid he done it. Newcastle, as soon as the Saudis went in there, Saeed, what happened? Soon as they gone in there, what happened? The season before, they were struggling. Problem. Yeah, they were struggling. Right. Now, Eddie Howe has had all of the help in behind the scenes to turn the players into physical output monsters. Manchester United have got weaklings, but what the club are responsible for is the overhyping of players. And like I said, the club has brainwashed a lot. Why do you think I talk about sheep and bootlickers, Saeed? Do you think I've invented these things to insult people? I haven't invented
Yeah.
This is the evidence. It's the evidence. And sometimes I'm like, I should be calling out the Glazers and Ineos. Why am I calling out the fans? Because the fans are become puppets of the, I'm not lying. I said it before, I'll say it again. There's something called Stockholm Syndrome, Stockholm Syndrome is a phenomenon where people fall in love with their abusers and they start repeating what their abusers said. So they're getting abused. They're getting beaten up. They're getting, the horrible things are happening to them. But they then spout the same as what the abusers doing to them. And that's why the sheep are sheeping and saying, yeah, the player is great. This player is that. Saeed, Ralph Ranić told us, modern football, you need technical ability and you need physicality. And no other team, I can't give you any other clearer team to do that than Newcastle. Because Newcastle, from fighting relegation, have added maybe 2 or 4 players, but actually, developmentally, has developed their squad and developed the players that they have to such that they are physical monsters. And they are one of the most physical teams.
Quickly, where did they finish last season? Because I feel like they had the season off last year.
17th.
Huh?
Nottingham Forest you're talking about?
No, Newcastle.
No, Newcastle finished 7th or something like that.
And you know why? Musa? Because they couldn't play two games a week. Before they went from playing one game a week, then they were in the Champions League.
No, but they didn't panic. I like that. I like the fact they didn't panic. I like the fact that they went hard. They played Champions League football. They fell off, didn't panic, recruited.
They didn't have the squad. They didn't have the squad.
Yeah,
that's all right. But I remember people were doubting their manager and saying this and that. And I like the fact they didn't panic. One of the problems I have with this, with Man United, is that I'm being told that everything's around recruitment. And if I believe it's all around recruitment, then I'm being told to put my trust in Ineos. When I already told them...
Yeah, you don't know. You don't do
and
that.
I already said, if Ineos don't treat the January transfer window like the summer one and get this manager about 4 players in now and then get him another 4 or 5 in the summer, we're in trouble. And the fact they didn't do that, I can't trust them. So then if I can't trust them, I got to believe that this manager's not going to get the players that he wants. We need a manager.
Then is it harsh to put pressure on a manager to turn water into wine?
This is why I said to you that he might go on elsewhere. And for me, I look at Amorim and Ten Hag different, where I look at Amorim being able to go on elsewhere very quickly and do a good job because he won't come in with the same circumstances he has now. But guys, we need a manager that we've all seen before that comes into a team that's not very good and gets them playing football where you're like, you know what? That's the manager. Have we seen that with Eric Ten Hag, where the team is playing a certain type of way and they're playing a good level of football and the man them can all look and say, you know what? That player don't have the ability to do that. Like what Van Gaal did when he had the youngsters playing balls and, keeping the ball in possession and everything. We were able to look at that Van Gaal team and say, that's the manager. We need that type of manager side. And until we found him, we got to go through the cycle because sadly, we don't have an ownership that's going to back the manager how they're meant to. So we're going to need a manager that can work miracles.
You want a short-term fix then, innit? A short-term fix 18 to 2
No,
months.
I just need a manager who understands that the situation at United is dire. And even what's worse, we're about to invest in a new stadium. We're not going to have no money, guys.
My thing is that
we might have to call players to fund the stadium.
We as United fans then realize, are we a long-term club or a short-term club? If you're a long-term club, then you back the manager no matter what, yeah. If you're a short-term club, you're not bothered about sackings. And then everyone...
my thing is, Saeed, I'm a long-term, but long-term in Europa League. I'm not long-term in 15th. This is what I'm saying. I'm not long-term in 15th. Saeed, you know how bad it is for us to be doing Thursday night football for the next 4 or 5 years? That's bad enough. But long-term in 15th, we're not even making it into Europe. That's the problem for me right now. I'm happy to play good football and be a Europa League team and say we're not ready for Champions League. And if we do get on there, it's on the merit of playing good football and maybe winning the Europa League, but finishing higher in our own league.
I'm telling you now, you be in the group chat saying, yo, we should be here. We should be playing Champions League football.
Saeed, if we were beat, listen, this is what I always say to guys.
That's the fan talking, Saeed. The fan in
That's a fan. But that's what I'm saying. But you know what it is, though? We big up teams like Brighton, Brentford for playing good football. Then we big up, who else? Palace. Where are they in the leagues?
They're ahead of us.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But they're 7th and 8th. So then we can't put our nose up at these positions. I'm happy for that. If that's what we are.
They have good coaches as well. They have good identity. They've got good players, good recruitment. They've got an ownership that care about what they're trying to do. You know, so I'm not
going to lie to you guys.
I really hope South London. Yeah. I really hope South London win the FA Cup. I really pray.
But you know what the biggest things there's multiple kind of almost reasons as to why you become successful. Is it only just come down to a manager, single manager doing everything? You still have
but this is one of the first times, Saeed.
Yeah.
This is one of the first times I've seen a panel of United supporters, even the man them in the group where Amorim wasn't really in the top 2 of anyone's name. But when he got announced, we all got behind it. When I look at everybody, this is not a manager that we all wanted.
I did warning videos, Musa. I did warning videos. Like you, I said, if he's not backed in January, good night, Vienna. I did warn.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. So my thing is, if it's not a manager that no one actually ever wanted, and no one really thought he would do well at United, and just based on the setup that we have, playing free at the black bar, blah, blah, now he's failing. Why is anyone surprised? Because he wasn't our top target. I'll get it if he was all of our top targets, like Bielsa.
That's why you got to blame more the ownership rather than the manager.
I do. But at the same time, I feel like they've got it wrong because, Saeed, the 3 at the back, I'm not against it, but it's too early for United.
We've really got to be good for Omar Barada because he's the one that purposely went out of his way to sack manager late, then went out to fly out to... He was the one that put us in this position.
So really, the man wanted to relegate the club, mate. He's come to do the job.
Give an example.
Really, we should be gunning for because he's the one that specifically said, this is the guy. If we kept Van Nistelrooy, yeah, I would have moaned the buy for a week, yeah. No, really, we would have moaned the buy for a week, yeah. If we'd have kept Van Nistelrooy, and for the rest of the season, he was interim. You can't really go mad apart from looking at maybe the ownership and saying, why did you keep this guy in the... But if we'd have said, yo, cool, we get a proper manager or proper coach in the summer, we wait for maybe a better pool of managers, we wait around, cool. That would have been saying, you know what, fair enough. They didn't hesitate. They didn't do whatever, cool. But at the same time, you can't really, like, Amorim took the job. Maybe
I
now
don't blame Amorim.
You really can't, like, these guys said, yo, this is now, whatever. They said, no, we're not waiting for the summer.
No, but that's the problem, Saeed. The problem is now, Amorim's got this on his CV and he just can't get rid of it.
I think he's going to be okay. I think he's going to be okay. I think they're going to look at this Man United.
When you say, listen, the only way, and you've all mentioned this a few times, the only way Amorim's going to be okay if he's backed. And that means you want me to put my trust in Ineos to back him. And I can't. This is why I don't think it's going to be okay, Saeed. Because the only way, look, you've told me the only way this man can be okay is if you back him with players that can play his system. Now, that means I have to, then who's going to back him? Oh, Ineos. Do you think they're going to do it? No, they're not. That means he's not going to be okay.
No. Listen, I'm not saying they're not going to do it, but we have to put that pressure on. We have to say, right, this is the expectation. A manager gets backed.
How many players do you need Amorim needs next season to be in a European position?
5 to 7 starters.
So if Amorim doesn't get 5 to 7 starters, we might as well sack him now.
No. You don't. Doesn't mean that we're not going to maybe finish where I think we're going to finish short. But I would say at least
an example. If Amorim gets
a minimum of 5 starters, a minimum.
Okay, cool. If Amorim gets 4 players in, and they're all.
It's not the end of the world. Where we need to be.
If we get Cunha in, that's
it's
one.
Quality as well.
So this is what I'm saying. If we get Cunha in, and again, you want another 22-year-old to come and lead the line, which I think is bad news. We don't want no more youth players coming into Man United right now. We don't need no youngsters coming to save the job.
The club are telling us we're not getting Osimhen. It's not me. The club are telling us we're not buying Osimhen.
I'm with you. That's what I'm saying. It's bad news.
I'm not complaining.
No, I'm with you.
The club are saying we're not buying Osimhen. The club.
No, but I'm just saying the likelihood is that the club is going to get this manager a lot of youth players, a lot of young players. That's what I think is going to happen. And I think if that happens on that basis, he's in trouble. I just don't see Amorim getting backed.
He's in trouble already, and that's why they gave him that sort of contract, because they knew what they were doing. By next season, Musa, if they don't give him a contract, that means players can take the piss out of him like they did with Ranier. You know that?
Yeah.
You know that by next season, if they don't give him a new contract, they don't.
Look at that, Noradine. I wasn't even thinking about that. Look what Noradine's just dropped. What's he said?
Noradine, what have you said now?
No, even that what he's just said is massive. If they don't back him from next season, and he's having a
he's got 1 year left. He's got a year and a half left.
That means he's back in next season. And if they don't back him, no one's going to rate him. So you've already created a madness before we've even started.
Saeed, 6 months to next season, if it means that he's just going to have 1 year left, who's going to listen to him? Players are going to look at him and go, "You're not going to be here next year. You've got 1 year left. I'll ride it out."
I don't think they're going to think like that. I don't think they're going to think like that.
Saeed, see what they did to run it.
Good enough to do what they got to do, man. I don't believe players down. I don't believe that. I don't think they're down for Ten Hag. I don't think they did.
No, that's not what I was saying. You don't believe players don't look at a manager and go, "I'm going to be here longer than you are."
No, but not if they. Not if they actually have
it on the podcast. We've heard them come out.
If they're interim, then yeah, I understand that. Because if you're an interim manager,
we've heard it on all the podcasts. We've heard all these ex-players come out so that we've seen managers where you know he's in trouble and you ain't got to worry. We know that. We've seen it.
Saeed, and the players talk about it. I mean, what player podcast do you watch?
Yeah, but I'm trying to tell you.
Come out. They have players to go, "Listen, were you against the manager?" No, the manager was against me. So I was like, I've got a longer contract than you. So I'm just waiting out till you get headed out. You guys, I'm turning up extra early for training, and I'm going to run and try to impress you.
Listen, you know what it is, yeah? We'll be in this situation again, yeah? And Musa might get his Xavi. Let Musa get his Xavi, I swear down, bro. If they sack this manager, yeah, let Musa, I pray we get Xavi as next manager. I pray.
I want Xavi.
You know why I pray? No, hold on a minute. Because I want to see what the excuses that Musa has, yeah, for Xavi Hernandez, yeah. And when we don't see that he can't play his little tick-a-tacker because he's got Ugarte or whoever in there, and he's got someone else there, and he's got Garnacho ahead of him, and the club haven't got rid of these players, yeah, Musa's going to be like, oh, well, you know what?
Xavi brought in youth at Barcelona. He'll bring in the youth. Xavi will bring in the youth, and this is what I like. Xavi's a man that said, if you can't play, I'm going to get someone in the academy you can. So either you play or you can't.
Are you trust the academy?
Saeed, I'm not going to lie to you. Your boy Hansi Flick is living off Xavi's hard work with the youngsters introduced.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And that's facts.
That deserves a timeout, that one.
Facts.
That deserves an absolute timeout, mate. Way. That is ridiculous.
Who brought those players through?
Oh my God, man! You are.
Xavi won the league in his first. Xavi won the league in his first season. Saeed, you're taking a mick out of him. He won the league.
Quadruple.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying he won the league in his first. No, but I'm saying
won 2 trophies this year.
No, you know I'm trying to say to you, Saeed. He said that it's off the hard work of Xavi brought through youngsters. Hold
on a minute. This brother, yeah, by the way, yeah, I don't know how many players they signed this season. It might have been 1 or 2, yeah. This guy had barely any players available. This Casado was not playing under Xavi, I don't believe. Yeah, there's a lot of players here that weren't playing under Xavi. He's actually got a Ferran Torres, yeah, who I don't believe was under Xavi or wasn't performing under Xavi. He's got 22 GA this year. He's got 3 players, yeah, that are on Ballon d'Or level this year. Yeah, he's got a back line. Yeah,
no, I'm not saying he's not done good work.
Hold on a minute.
No one's saying that. We're saying.
Hold on a minute. He's got 17-year-old Kabassi. Ignio Martinez that nobody rated. Yeah,
Xavi got Kabassi into the team.
He's got
Xavi trusted Kabassi as a centre back. What are you talking about?
He's at the back
right now.
Yeah, it's still top of the league. Yeah, it's crazy,
right now.
You know.
Xavi said, stop signing the young players. Stop signing players. Let the young give the youngsters a chance. That was Xavi's philosophy.
Come on.
Yeah, but what you're trying to do, you're trying to undermine.
I'm not undermining.
We're not.
Undermine. Undermining a team, yeah, that has scored over 100 goals.
Two things can be true at the same time.
100 goals this season.
Two things.
What was his Champions League record, Xavi, by the way? What was his Champions League record?
The young players were developing.
Xavi.
He won the league, Saeed.
Okay.
When Real Madrid was running riot, he won the league with some youngsters, Saeed. You can't take that away from him. He walked in.
Oh, you can have players. We've had players before.
We've
had players before.
There's no argument.
Two things can be
true. But what you said there for me is so disingenuous, yeah? Because you know what it is?
Why
it's not what you do with them. It's about what you do with them.
Who had a better team in their first season, Xavi or Hansi Flick in their first season?
I need to go and check what Xavi's first season was, to be honest with you, and see what it was.
This is what he didn't have the same setup.
Xavi was taking them maybe here. This Hansi Flick's took them to another level. That's the difference.
But we're saying Hansi Flick didn't have to get him off the floor.
I don't disagree with that. With that. I'm saying to you, Xavi did some good things. What Musa talked about.
I'm not denying that. I just disagree with your point.
You just got triggered. You just got triggered.
This is Hansi Flick.
You just waffled for 2 minutes, but he didn't need to. He didn't need to.
That's what you've done. You could have said, you know what? You could have said maybe it's carried on from this or whatever. You've disrespected what Hansi Flick is doing this season.
Saeed's triggered.
Crazy, man.
Xavi started the young player trend, and they are much more developed when Hansi Flick went there, and they were already experienced in playing and winning a trophy, winning a league title. So they already had that winning mentality. Flick has come on and done phenomenal, tactically sorted them out the front three, got the best out of old school Lewandowski, got the best out of Lamine Yamal, got the best out of Rafinha, gone from championship to Barcelona being Ballon d'Or, maybe in a Ballon d'Or list now in the next year. So, I'm not taking it away. I'm saying to you what Musa said. Listen to what Musa said. If Xavi comes in, if the older players are not good enough, he's going to go to the young. And all I said was, at Barcelona, Xavi did exactly the same. You got triggered. You went on a long
No, you know what it was? This is nothing bad against Xavi. I just disagree with what you just said. That's all it was. I think for me, it's a disrespect to the job that Hansi Flick has done. That's all I disagree with.
Okay, what we're saying is this.
And also, the United can't get the Barcelona. I don't think I'm saying this.
This is what I'm saying. If Xavi did not do what he done, Hansi Flick would have found it much harder to get the team to where they are now. He would have had to take longer. That's what we're saying. There was a job done before him. There's a job done before him that Amorim hasn't done. If a new manager comes in, if a new manager comes in after Amorim, he's still starting from the bottom. This is what I'm saying.
I hope we get Xavi next season, yeah. For your sake, Musa, yeah. And let's see how long you give Xavi Hernandez. Let's see how long you give him. Let's see how long you keep blaming and saying why we haven't seen any formations, any tactics, etc., etc. Let's see. Because what it is, yeah, you got to realize you're only as good for me as the tools that you've been provided with. Sometimes you could do better. Sometimes you kind of almost go above and beyond, like the Wolves manager now. But I do believe it will come crashing down for the Wolves manager. But ultimately, the manager Amorim, I don't think has the best tools available for him to be doing what he needs to fully do. His full capability.
You know what it is for me, Saeed?
And that's
you see like Enrique.
You lot are not focusing on.
Unfortunately, you see like Enrique at PSG's first season. People weren't too sure about him, this and that. Then he got rid of Ugarte and he went for footballers. He wanted ballers in his team.
Yes.
You see me, Saeed? When I see and everyone was doubting him, Enrique, blah blah blah. Is he this? Is he that? People were just saying he's overhyped. people saying he's overhyped. Cool. What I like about managers is when they identify what they want to do from early on, and they put those players to the side. You're not if you're a player that can, and this is what flipping LVG done. If you can't play the way I want to play, I will go and get a youngster, or I'll go and get someone else to play, and you're sitting down. You are marginalized. You're not playing in my team. It's what they do in Italy. You see managers go into Juve and they say, find another club. And everyone say, oh, how they told that big player to find it? Brother, you're not in my plans. Find another club. But these managers that we're bigging up come into Man United and they never sideline anyone like that. Everyone's a part of their plans. Oh, Casemiro, you're not playing. Yes, you're playing. This one you're in, you're not. It's like, just be firm and also win when you're doing it. And that's the only problem I have with what's happening right now. Like, I believe if Amorim was backed, he would have a much better position in actually win. Because my biggest problem with Amorim's side is not the position that he's in. It's not the fact that he's not a good manager. I just feel like the level of trauma that he's created in that squad this season by not being able to win a back-to-back game is going to go into next season. I don't think there's no signing, there's nothing you can do that's going to shake that off the club. And that's and sadly, that's because he made a decision to come halfway through the season, knowing that he wasn't going to get back. If Amorim comes in now in the summer, it's a total different start to Man United. So I just feel like he shot himself in the foot. We're going to be here in flipping November talking about, guys, it's dark outside. So he's going to be talking about it's dark.
Meet me at the car park. It's dark outside. Meet me at the car park.
I told you already. I'm not doing managerial ins and outs anymore.
No.
I said I'd rather focus on why is it not going wrong? Why is it not going right? I told you, lot, man. Having in and out, it's good and well. Sack him. I'm not bothered. But are you gonna back him? Are you gonna hold on a minute? Hold on a minute. Are you gonna back him? Are we gonna see a good level of recruitment? And are the players there good enough? And do we rate these players? Half of these players we don't rate. So if we don't rate half of these players, then I'm sorry, you can't say the manager needs to do X, Y, and Z, and this has to be this and whatever. Like, cool, we need to win more games, but the overall quality of the team and what we do is only as good as your team, bro. And as soon as you see that, that's when I think for me you'll start to see a better team, unfortunately. But like I said, I told you lot. You know what I mean? Amorim, for me, he needs to get summer window, regardless if he wins the Europa League or not. If he was sacked tomorrow, I can't complain because of the results he's got. But ultimately, Ineos, the pressure needs to be on Ineos and whether they can deliver like players to the team. If they can't deliver, then I'm sorry, man. You're going to see managers struggling next season. Unfortunately.
So can I ask you a question before we go? I'll ask you the question.
Let's go.
Do you see a developmental plan at Manchester United to develop younger players? And do you think if they bring in younger players,
I don't know.
How many months will you give Amorim before he's either walked or sacked?
I really don't. I think for me, development, it depends on the player. If it's a player is good, then yeah, develop him. If it's not good enough, then no, sack him off.
Interesting.
Yeah. If he's not good enough, I don't think they believe in development. Hoyland and Garnacho, they're not good enough. Sack him off. See you later.
Do you think Murphy and Newcastle was good enough? Or would you have been them?
Murphy, because I feel like he understands the game. I think the manager has understood what he's about. He's simplified the game.
Have you listened to his interview lately? What he said?
No, I haven't seen it, no.
You better watch it, Saeed, because he talked about it. Because I promise you, he was at United. Most fans would have binned him off. But he said, I work behind the scenes with coaches on every aspect of my game, specifically my final ball and crossing. That's what I talk about, developmental. You don't have to be the best player. David Beckham was not the greatest player in the world. He perfected one of the hardest things to do in football. That's putting the ball in most dangerous positions.
You see that left back at Everton? He's meant to have good stats, that O'Neill. Well, what have you not looked at him?
Who?
O'Neill. I'm not saying him play the O'Neill. I don't know about the left back, but O'Neill is the guy who was at United. He was at Burnley and now he's at Everton. But I've not seen him play since David Moyes got back. I'm not seeing him play.
Where does he play?
O'Neill can play. He can play winger, number 10. Different managers have used him as a number 10.
He's meant to be a serious left wing back option for us in terms of his level of ball that he puts in the box.
Yeah, O'Neill. Yeah.
Well, he was at United.
He was at United as a kid,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember seeing him in and out of Manchester when he's at United as a youngster.
Okay, someone that popped up on the radar recently, I see someone talking about him and just saying that he's someone that people are sleeping on. But in terms of level of consistency, 8 out of 10 every game.
McNeil, yeah. He can put a ball in. But Murphy worked with the coaches because, I'm not going to lie to you, Eddie Howe believes in how can I get the best out of these players. At Manchester United, we play youngsters, same with the Kobe, same with Garnacho, same with we play these players to death and we don't have them. And then we blame everything on them. Like, that's what they are. At 22, Didier Drogba was playing in French League Division 2. I rest my case.
Yeah. And that's my thing. So bringing in players that, for me, I'm worried that there's no developmental plan for Man United. I watched that thing with Rio and Giggs. And Giggs has a different opinion on Garnacho and what he thinks in terms of, he's of the opinion that if a player, tries to do something 5 times and he pulls it off once and wins you the game, then that's all that's needed. He prefers someone that does that than someone that doesn't try at all.
But he also said, Musa, but he also said that you would work with him to get the ball right. And Giggs even talked about it himself. Ryan Giggs was sensational when he came through. He talked about it in that Rio interview. I don't know if Saeed watched it, but he said, I have to work every aspect of my game to improve to be more consistent. And you know the best thing about Ryan Giggs? Fergie knew that. Boom, took him out, brought him in, took him out. And he talks about specifically when Beckham got into the team, Giggs was thinking, I don't need to beat all these people. I just cross the ball like Giggs. And Fergie goes to him, you're not David Beckham. You're Ryan Giggs. You take players on. That's what you do. But majority of people don't want to accept developmental plan is what you need for young. You don't burn them to death.
And this is what you need.
We don't have that. I swear to God, people, I'm telling you, read all their books. Vicky Bott, Scholes, Beckham, Gary Neville, Phil Neville, all of them. Without developmental plan, those kids would have been playing in a championship, would have been playing in different leagues. The Paul Scholes that you know now would not have been there. The amount of work that went behind the scenes with that 92 to turn them into the players they were.
It's also down to the individual.
Go and do your research, people. Don't.
It's also down to the individual to work on his game and actually.
No. Of course, Saeed. Of course.
Yeah.
Saeed, but you inspire youngsters to say, "Do you want to be this? Do you want to be that? Here's what we're going to do, and we're going to work with you, or else you're going to be sold like everybody else and go and play in. You still have a professional career. You just will never play in a top flight." That's the 2 options I give. Now, some players, Saeed, accept what they accept. They go, listen, I'm at this level. I don't need to improve. I just want to play. And I've got nothing to prove. That's it. Some players go, no, I want to learn. How can I learn? And then you put them in a group. And like, they had another, people, I read Gary Neville's book just quickly. Gary Neville, in the summertime, Gary Neville at the age of 16 was going up to the Northeast to work with specialized coaches on how to defend as a right back or as a centre back. Can you imagine that? His dad Gary Neville was taken from Manchester to the Northeast to be helped how to defend. Forget about what United were doing. So yes, I agree. The hunger comes from you and the people around you. But if you don't have that, you're not going to have any chance whatsoever.
Yeah. Last 2 super chats here from Arif says, you guys are forgetting that these players we have don't have the motivation to be consistent. We need new and senior players to back the manager. Ivan says, blame the GOAT Jose, master tactician Ralph, the Dutch tactician. Relax, guys. Notice the trend, please. Give Amorim time. The team is arse back to front. Big up to Ivan, big up to Arif, big up to everyone who's here. Please hit the like button, guys. I don't know. I think we're on just past 500 likes. We've still got 1.2k in the building. And big up to you lot. But let's get to 700 likes on your way out, people, if we can. Get these likes up to 7k likes. Musa, love, as always, man.
Always, man. My prediction for this week, guys, I think we're losing 2-1, and we're going to have to do it the hard way at Old Trafford. I don't think we don't go Spain and come back with a win. I think we're going to lose 2-1, but we're going to have a chance to get it back. So it's going to be on us.
Hopefully, inshallah, I'll be there sitting next to you, Saeed. Hopefully feeling better, bro. I'm 200 short of 13K for a channel that's shadow banned because we talk about humanity and we stand against the genocidal Zionist and the genocidal Western countries and the military-industrial complex. All the struggle is one people. Because of that, they want to shadow ban me, but I don't give a damn. So please subscribe. I'm going to hopefully have a video out tonight, Saeed, talking about how Liverpool are now the biggest football club in the country and how they're helped by their greatest allies and friends, the Glazers and Ineos. So yeah, watch out for that video. But people, smash a like on the video, subscribe to this channel on the road to 500,000. Let's go.
Thank you. Big up, man. Big up to everyone locked in, man. Good discussion today. We'll see you lot tomorrow. Champions League. Take care. Peace.